Alright, I'm going to give my opinion on Royal Tiger as a company, having done business with them and when I purchased, and kind of trying to put together what I've been hearing from different people. It's not an easy thing to say. In other words, I'm just not going to sit here and say one way or the other. Oh, they're bad, or they're what I got from them is great, and I don't see the problem. Okay, because it doesn't work that way. So first of all, let's start off. Royal Tiger itself. This all started with the big Ethiopian stockpile of weapons that they made a deal. It was 8 years in the making, the whole story, and they bought everything that they had, and they're bringing it into the country. And this is a pretty unusual stash of guns. There's stuff from the 1890s to where they got M1 carbines and those Czech semi-automatic rifles, so you probably say up to the 1950s, 60s weapons. And there's a whole slew of stuff in between, and I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of strange, weird, rare, one-of-a-kind items in there, which I've seen photos and different things surfacing. So this is a big deal, no matter which way you look at it, for the surplus, military surplus market. Now, this company's been putting out a lot of ads, a lot of hype, building up to it. And see, this is where people get caught up in this stuff. The hype, the excitement, because really, on the military surplus market, there hasn't been an awful lot of stuff in any quantity coming in for years. So as the market tightens up, something like this is a big deal. Okay, it's a large quantity of stuff, and these guys are advertising and build it up to, here's the full page ad in the American Rifleman this month, and it gives you a web address to go and read the complete article, and probably will show the pictures of them in Ethiopia, the guns and everything. So great. But see, this is where you get into business practice and what the hell is going on. Sometimes when somebody imports some stuff, it's either a small group or whatever, and even if you do not like their business practices or have questions about their business practices, they are the only game in town and they're the only people selling them. So, in terms of Royal Tiger, it was the M1 carbines, original, unmodified, World War II, US-made M1 carbines. I can't remember in my lifetime when such thing was imported, okay? A lot of the ones from Korea in the late 80s, early 90s, they were all come out of reserves and that, and they've all been reworked since World War II. So even if you had some World War II manufactured ones, they were changed over, they had bayonet lugs put on them, and the flip-up sights were removed and replaced with the newer sight. That is a real rare find, and as far as I know, Royal Tiger was the only place selling these. Another thing that's rare is the Ethiopian Crested FN Mausers. Again, you're only going to get them out of Ethiopia because that's where the contract was made, stamped, and sent. I doubt, maybe some have trickled out of the country, but to find a cache, this is a real hard to find rifle. For somebody like me, the crest on a Mauser bolt-action rifle, I don't collect Mausers, okay, per se. I did in the past, but not now. I'm not interested in it. But if you are a collector of Mausers with all the different crests in there, trying to build a Mauser 98 collection, this is a tough find, so I can understand that. But strange thing is, I find that Century Firearms is selling these Ethiopian Crested Mausers. Okay, I guess I haven't checked on the website with Royal Tiger. So Royal Tiger is kind of slipping out little pieces of it to spread it out a little. Okay. Some of their stuff is showing up on other different websites. Okay, so some of it ain't exclusive. Now, everybody that bought the M1s and some of this real rare stuff, they're happy with it. Okay, and then he goes and he has World War I Mausers, Cavalry 88s. There's Austrian guns from the 1890s, straight pulls and M95s. There's, because it was an Italian colony, there is just about all the pre-World War II variations of the M91 Carcano. Okay, carbines, troop special rifles, all this other stuff. But, see, the thing about Carcanos, they're not that rare. There are a lot of them around, okay? And I built a collection, took about 2 years of looking, searching, going through auctions and I built a pretty good collection of the different types. You know, they're not all pristine or 95% guns, but they're good enough. Some are in good condition, excellent condition. Some are 95% condition. But I got a good example of each different variation is basically what I wanted. And some variations are a little bit more difficult to find with a good shootable bore. And, you know, that's what collecting is about. Now, I know a lot of people like to see stuff listed and just buy it. Okay, oh, they got them. They got a bunch of them. Well, those days are kind of far and few between. Okay, and I mean, that's why everyone's so excited about this, is you can sit there with your curio and relic license and just click on it on your phone, pay for it, and it's sent to your house. Okay, pretty easy. Not a lot of aggravation, having to search, look around, deal with people, you know. So for the general collector, somebody doesn't put a lot of time in hunting down good examples, you know, this is what a lot of people like. So this is where they're using your lack of depth into doing this, and the fact that you really don't have the time to go searching to try to assemble a collection. You just kind of want to buy it quick and easy and see what you get, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it don't. So that's what's happening here. And then Royal Tiger does have, if you go and look online, the Better Business Bureau, it's not connected to the Ethiopian. It's something to do with parts kits about a year or so ago. If you go to the Better Business Bureau and look this company up, there were a number of complaints, and what they would do is they would list a complaint, they would contact them, get the company's response, and then how it filters down to responses, replies, whatever, and then in the end was a resolution found. Now, this is about the only recourse. The Better Business Bureau does not have the power or authority to force the company to refund your money or something. They're kind of like a mediator, and they make this public. That way you are informed, okay, and you can make your own decision. And I've seen a lot of weird stuff with this whole other thing that has nothing to do with the Ethiopian stash, but this company doesn't have a good rep. So, when I placed my order, for some reason, I was just doing it so I can honestly say I've done business with them. I got some sort of weird discount on the Carcano rifles, and I bought low end. Okay, all my stuff was sub $300. Okay, and most things are about $300, depending on what gun you're buying and up. Okay, there are some older antique guns I'm interested in, but when we're in the $800 price range and stuff, I really like looking at it or getting a more detailed description and some photographs of something before I drop $800. Okay, so what I bought was a couple Carcanos. Okay, the M38 Cavalry carbine with a folding bayonet, and this is the one that's in 7.35 millimeter. Now the reason I got these is 7.35 millimeter, especially this Cavalry carbine, is not easy to find. Okay, they were not given to Finland like the M38 short rifle. and the ones issued to Italy have a stamp on the stock, okay, and they were not given away, so they are a little bit more difficult to get your hands on this. And the gun I got, the condition, this one here is not safe to shoot. Okay, so I didn't pay the full price. I got a little bit of a discount, so it's kind of a alright. Now the M38 short rifle, the most common version you will find is all the ones they sent to Finland. The Finns really didn't like these guns, didn't use them much, and then sometime in the 50s, Interarms or somebody went over there and bought all of them that were in storage, and I have an example. It's like 95% condition, like mint. Okay, and a lot of them came in that way. Some of them were used, some of them were in the lower condition or used condition, but they're easy to find and they're around if you look and are patient, and you can get them, and they're usually in nice shape. The one like this here, again, has the stock stamp on there, 7.35. This is the ones the Italians kept. This was not given away. Okay, that's why it has the stamp. So the troops issued this gun would know the difference. So this is a little bit harder variation to find, and it doesn't have the SA on it. And I always kind of wanted an Italian one. And this one here, even though, you know, when I cleaned it, I looked down the bore, you could see rifling, it was kind of pitted and stuff, but then when I gauged it with the pins, it's pretty worn out, like about 6,000ths wear in there, okay? They say 4,000ths, which isn't going to be good. It's not going to, it's shootable, but I doubt it'll shoot well, but I'm going to try it anyway, and if you've been following me, you can see the end results. So basically what the problems are here, and a lot of people when they comment about it will tell you, with the grading system and what you're getting, they're kind of stretching it in a way, and basically they're overcharging you for what you're receiving. Okay, now the way they worded it, there's no false advertisement, there's no trickery, it's just a vague thing, and they use the term on some of these guns, turn in condition. What the hell is turn in condition? Okay, again, nothing you can tie them down or say, hey, look, these people misrepresented what they're doing. It's not what's going on, because a lot of this is a call, because they say fair to good. Okay, these guns are actually fair, one, and you can't call it poor, because even though the one with the board, it's unshootable, be in poor condition, it would have to have like a broken stock or some parts missing. You know, there's a butt plate screw missing, but I mean more than that, like a bolt knob, or the sight broke off, or the sling swivels tore off, you know, numerous little tiny bits and pieces missing. That'll knock it down into poor. So this is the biggest problem people are having. And then this company does some weird stuff, building on the hype, the excitement, and how they get you is they try to tell you there's a limited supply, so make your purchase now, and, you know, get it before it's gone. And they'll have the guns and how many in stock, and you'll see these numbers drop, okay? And then they'll do this. They sent me an email for the Carcano 91/24s, okay? This week only. It was at $349.95, and then they said, okay, we're going to sell them for $199. So I went there to look, and by the time I got there, right when I received the email, okay, there were 40 guns. So I was watching, and I go back during the course of the day and the evening and that amount keeps going down, 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 until within 24 hours, them 40 guns were sold. And then it's out of stock for several days, and then all of a sudden they're at 200 and say 25 or something dollars, which is still less than the damn 349. Okay. And then at the time they do this, the strange thing happens. Palmetto State Armory and Bud's Gun Shop start selling the same model rifles. But in their descriptions, it says these probably, one says probably, and Bud says did come from the police Carbines supplies or something they've been storing for God knows how many years. And I thought that quite suspicious. I think what they did is they got a pile of these guns, they went through them, they took a bunch of them that probably were unshootable, had a sale on them, okay, and then parted out and got paid for these other guns. I can't prove that, and everyone argues with me, no, these come from a different source, these come from a different source, and that. And so I don't know. But I think a lot of the outlets and dealers are kind of tied together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get a couple samples from these different places and see if they kind of marry up with what Royal Tiger's selling. In general, my consensus, the M1 carbines are just about sold out. But that was a deal, and everyone that bought them was happy. And there's some really unusual things there, which I think the condition and the price aren't correct. But if you're looking for one of these highly rare and unusual guns, it may be the only opportunity you can ever get an example. That's the bad thing about real super rare stuff, which there is some in this cache. As far as the more common guns are, like the 98s and the Carcanos, I believe they're overpriced for the condition, okay? And actually a lot of them are way overpriced for piss poor condition. That's my opinion, okay? So you can look at it any way you want. And a lot of people that were complaining, KR98s and some of these other guns, are really not in good shape for what they paid. So that's my kind of my conclusions on that, or my opinion of it, because some people have asked about some of the more odd and rarer guns. You know, they'll be priced for like very good condition, but if you're getting something that's good or borderline fair, if you look at like the $700 price or $699, if you go down to good, okay, instead of very good would be 700, good would be like 400, and fair and that, you know, whatever, poor would be more like under 300. So see, this is where the grading system and what you're paying isn't meshing up, and this is the problem. I believe they're overpriced, okay? But then again, it's up to you, because this may be the only time in the next 20, 30 years you could get a Mauser with the Ethiopian crest on it once they're sold out. So it's kind of, you got to make your choice. But in general, I've heard a lot of bad things. There is a history with the Better Business Bureau about this company. But like I said, if I was in the market for an M1 carbine, I probably would have bought one, but I'm not. And just about everybody that bought the carbines, very few complaints. Okay, very few, or they quashed the complaints. That's another thing. Anyone who's putting 1 star or complaining, somehow these reviews get edited. I have found one, they put the little Cavalry carbine on sale for $199. And okay, my battery ran out, sorry about that. So somebody bought one of them on sale for $199, and basically he's describing what I got when I paid $220, I think. Okay, so for me to say, hey, you know, I was tempted to go, hey, now they're on sale, let me go buy 2 of them and see what I get. I'm going to get the same thing. Okay, I mean, it's a nice example to hang on a wall, but basically it's just parts, and it would be very difficult for me to disassemble a gun, part it out, and try to get the money back. It would take a long time, and it's not worth it. If I could get them for like $100 and a quarter, and buy 4 or 5 of them and then part them out, it would be worth it, but not at 2, not at 2 1/4, no. Unless I had something in nice shape with a broken stock and the bayonet missing and that would be the only reason to purchase it. So, and I think what you're going to see is these ain't flying off the shelf like the 9124s, okay? And what you're going to see is they're probably going through the guns. They got so many of them, they haven't had time. They're trying to push this and get the stuff out and get people to buy at an elevated price to recoup their money. And now that they're sorting things out, they're having these sales where they're dropping the stuff that's royally dog turds, okay? And I'm kind of believing a lot of these other companies that are selling these guns, they're parceling it out, okay? Because they don't have the ability, or they have such a large quantity, it's going to take them years to sell these guns. So it would make sense to parcel out little segments and spread it out. And I'm thinking, okay, I can't prove it, and I've been looking into this for a week, and it makes no sense that where the Italians would all of a sudden say, hey, we got a bunch of these guns, and there's stuff there where there's this sheet of paper that shows tally numbers, but somebody blacked out any kind of pertinent information, and the rumor flies, and then it's everybody's there, and then again it feeds more confusion, more disarray. But what I do know is 2 companies, okay, Palmetto State Armory and Buds are selling 9124s. But this DK Arms, and this is where it's confusing, because they're both calling them TS carbines, all right, True Special carbines. There's the DK Firearms is selling actual 91 TS carbines, which is not a 91/24. And I had to go on Facebook and join these collectors groups, and the website selling it shows you a picture of a container with these guns lined up, and they're in good shape. And I've had a few people that have bought them from these other dealers, different guns, showed me the guns. Actually, that's where I'd like to thank, I think it's Slip Joint guy or something. I asked the guy, if you get this gun, please make a video. And I think he got his, I can't remember which one. He got a 9124, and I think he got it from Palmetto State Armory or something, or Buds, one or the other. And the gun does not look bad. It doesn't look like, it doesn't look like these things, okay? I mean, it's in the next grade up. Okay, you can see the stock stampings, and there was another guy that had one, and you can actually see the stampings and the cartouches in the stock and that, and it was they're fairly clean. They're not real dark or covered with grit, okay? They are grimy, but not like these showed up with that gunk on there. But then again, I had another person send me a comment, said they got one from Buds that's just like the ones I got from Royal Tiger, and that was a 9124. So there's a bit of confusion here, and the reason I say that is the Italians, these guns worn like this, the Italians would have melted them down or something. They wouldn't have put stuff like this in storage. Whenever they reviewed it, re-arsenaled it, if the bores were shot out and that, they wouldn't have put them in storage. Okay, for reissue. Okay, they wouldn't have done that. So that's going to be the key that we'll look as I go on with this and get more into this, seeing what examples I get. That's how we're going to know if they're just shifting stuff around and making up a story. Okay? And yes, some of these guns have a different importation mark on them. Okay? These now show you when I get the guns how the importation mark is on the ones from Royal Tiger, and there's a little bit of a difference. But I don't know if these 2 companies are somehow connected. Okay, they're not going to tell you that, but they may be. So, as you see, there's nothing clear, there's no clear answer. I mean, a lot of people have bought the M1 carbines and are happy with it, and some other items. There's nothing fancy bought a Lee Enfield in 303 and was very happy with his purchase. Okay, and I watched his video, go check his video out. But there are a lot of people, they're not making videos, they're not posting pictures anywhere where you can see, but from what they're describing is what I got. And, you know, you're getting a low quality for a high price is basically what I'm saying. So I would advise you kind of think twice, and especially these flash sales. Something tells me this is where they're going through a stack of stuff and they pull out 30, 40 really trash guns and say, okay, we're going to drop the price from that's a big price drop. $349.99 to $199. Okay, I don't think they've gotten a change of heart or feel generous. So, that's the information in my experience. I strongly suggest you be patient, kind of filter through this. Don't get caught up in a hurry up and buy, because I've seen it on their website where they're down to one or out of stock, and then all of a sudden they're in stock again. So they must be processing this stuff as it comes, and they're trying to sell it and move it as fast as they can. Okay, so don't feel pressured that they're going to sell out. Wait a month. They probably have more. Okay, so that's my take on it. Sorry for going on too long, but it's not an easy thing to say, because it's not just cut and dry in the way it's all being done, and with all the confusion and now these other guns are coming in and there's a whole buzz and people saying different things. It's hard to sort through the BS to get down to what is going on and make a sound decision. Okay, and that's what these companies all use to confuse you, trip you up, and basically, wrangle your money out of you. All right, stay tuned.